What is going on, fellow YouTubers and subscribers? Welcome to another video. So I wanted to talk about one thing that just kind of ran across my mind today while I was at the gym. I am on the precipice. Basically, I am about to sell my Queen Hulkbuster. I've been trying to sell it for several months now. I believe I'm about to sell it. And it has me thinking, should we buy Black Adam and display it down there, and do Shazam and Black Adam? Or instead of buying Black Adam, we just sell all of this. Get rid of it all. I might potentially be able to keep Shazam, but sell everything else. If I did keep Shazam, it would have to go in this setup. And right now it looks really clean. If you add another statue, it does kind of clutter it, where right now it looks super clean. So I could sell Shazam and just sell it all. The reason for that is, I don't necessarily have to abide by the rule of this is Marvel and DC only. I was thinking, what if we decided to do Khaleesi 1/4, Khaleesi bust, and Jon Snow, Night King, but I have it separate, so the guys behind him are actually to the side of him, so you can see them better. And then do Alita bust. Alita bust, Alita 1/4. If I was able to do this, of course, they're losing more premium spots. However, by doing this, it would create a massive amount of space for me to do other things that could, work out better for the cave. Where right now, yes, these are all very cool statues and whatnot, but technically, do we really need a Deadshot and a Leto Joker? That's a duplicate Harley, duplicate Aquaman. I could forego this. It's still, separate from the main Marvel and DC area, so it doesn't look truly out of place. It'd just be Dark Knight Rises above, below Alita and Game of Thrones. And then if you think about it, we would free up all this, all that. A lot of premium real estate in the cave. And what I could do, because right now when I'm thinking, Vampirella, Red Sonja, I have to extend this shelf out, which I had it like that before, and it makes the walking here much, much tighter, which I'm just I really don't want to do that. In addition, all the statues under here are not as good visible. So it'll, and when I'm sitting down on the couch, I won't be able to see Rotunda T-Rex because he will be blocking it, which isn't a huge deal. But I'm just thinking, if we don't do Red Sonja and Vampirella in this setup, we simply move Red Sonja, move Blade over, and do Selene and Blade and Reapers, and we keep everything else as is, we could do, right here, it's going to be the 1/3 Terminator line. And then right there, you could do Red Sonja and Vampirella. Then you could do the Velociraptor 1/6, Dilophosaurus 1/6, and above, return the Raptor bust, and kind of have it how we had before. So this right setup, up and down, is all Jurassic Park only. Just my Jurassic Park statues. Which I sort of did that before, but I didn't have a 48-inch, so I couldn't fit Raptor and Dilophosaurus. With a 48, I can. I could put leaves behind them and make it look good. The Raptor would go right there, Dilophosaurus there, Raptor bus here with all the little 1/10s like I had it before, which I thought looked excellent, by the way. And Red Sonja and Vampiro will fit perfect in that shelf. So I'm just thinking, that could look really good. The whole TV area, you got all these 1/3s transitioning into, the Jurassic setup. And by doing that, you would be able to complete this whole vision idea of mine of being able to do the T-Rex 1/15th, Tyrannosaurus 1/15th, So I could have that whole Jurassic World Dominion line, which ultimately we would, this would just be the Jurassic World setup in essence, all in a kind of one line. I mean, technically those are 1/10th and 1/15th, but it's close enough. It's not like I see that and I think, oh, the Raptor's too big. No. Raptors look fine. So it'd just be, all more or less one scale outside of the 2 busts above, which are more or less kind of 1/6. So I think it could work really good. I wouldn't have to, affect Warcraft or the video game. You keep that all as is. We would move all of that right over here to where Game of Thrones is at. And I did love Raptor Bust over here. I thought it looked excellent. But of course I like Alita there, and she's obviously going to get a way less premium spot. But, the whole Jurassic Park theme here, and that would be Jurassic World there, separating the two, giving Vampirella and Red Sonja their own premium under the TV spot, kind of the in-between Terminator and Jurassic Park, the two sexy ladies. I think it could look really good. Now, I have tried to sell Suicide Squad in the past with no success, unfortunately. I would have to go much more aggressive on my pricing should I choose to do this. Once I sell Hulkbuster, I may try it. See how it looks, to do like Jon Snow, basically where Shazam is, Khaleesi, and then Khaleesi bust in the middle, kind of following this suite of bust with statues on each side. I do the same thing. And then Night King, the 2 soldiers behind, and Alita bust there. Alita bust, I know she fits in a 36-inch wide shelf. However, that depth on the sword, I'd have to angle her a little bit different. But it still should work. Especially since I have that space there. I could actually do the statue there and the bust maybe there. Having the sword go behind that little column there. But it definitely could look really good. And I don't think it would ruin the overall theme by any means. Because, the main Marvel is like from here to there. And DC from Darkseid to Superman. The Snyderverse. And then Dark Knight Rises is separate. And so if you have Game of Thrones and Alita separate, I think it would work really good. I don't need to abide by that law. Only Marvel and DC in this room. I think having rules like that, I shouldn't, discount that. Like, let's say if we were to sell Joker, Harley, and Deadshot, like the whole line for, let's say, 2K shipped. That would be a stellar deal. Get rid of Aquaman for like $800 and Shazam for like $1,200. Something like the lines of that, Or, the alternative is we don't finish Jurassic unless you were to sell Warcraft. Keep all this here. I mean, the current plan is kind of just to do the Giga 115th, T-Rex bust, call it a day. I still love the idea, though, of doing those 115ths there. So I just feel like completing the line, they all match scale-wise. I feel like it just looks better. Having all Jurassic Park in one designated setup would look better. What is Gizmo doing? And then also not mixing 1/4 and 1/3 down here. We would have 1/3, and then of course T-Rexes, but those don't really matter in terms of scaling to humans. So I'm definitely highly considering this. It'll definitely be easier once although I still, really do want Khaleesi main room, just because I feel like she's going to be one of my best busts. And of course, this is not the most premium spot to put her, which is one of the biggest downsides. Of course, her and Alita bust, 2 of the best busts, getting not very premium spots. Where from my couch, I have really good angles of Alita and Khaleesi bust. Because I sit down the majority of the time in that room, I feel like she's going to have good angles. Right here, I'm generally standing right here. Like, I don't move the chair over here that often. And that's one of the reasons this shelf is so high. So when I'm standing in front of Joker, he's actually taller than me. Like, my head goes to right there. So I can actually look him up. So it works really good for that Joker bust. Now, Khaleesi bust, I don't think necessarily will look bad down low, because her head is looking slightly up. More so than, let's say, like that Mara bust. Like, she's just looking forward. She's looking slightly down. He's looking down, forward, down, a tad up. Now, I would say Khaleesi's more close to Superman, where he is slightly looking up. You know, and most busts in general either look forward or down. They rarely look up, which is kind of baffling to me. It's like you're forced to always display busts up high, which they do look better up high, but rarely do they look upwards. Captain Marvel's a tiny bit up. Everything else is either forward or down. So I do think Khaleesi busts will look good down low. Of course, top shelf's always better. But I love the idea of not having to change the shelf because we have good walking space. If we change it back, it's going to go to like, we're adding like 12 inches, so like right there. So that's just kind of a random idea that came across my mind because I'm always trying to think best solutions, what statues I can sacrifice. You know, and at the end of the day, I got the J&D plus the Harley bust, so it's just like, that is, for me, the absolute best thing about Suicide Squad. Of course, I do like Jared Leto's Joker and Deadshot. I do like the statues. They're great. But if I'm trying to think of ways to, you know, make space, what I can sacrifice, I think I could definitely sacrifice these. I would definitely want to try Alita and Game of Thrones over there before I would commit. You know, like I would move these. Let's say we sell Hulkbuster. Before we order Black Adam again, I will try Game of Thrones, Alita, and everything over here. Take some photos. I can also Photoshop it, of course. But I want to see it in person. And if it looks good, and I'm like, okay, this works. It looks good. I have good angles. We could go ahead and do it. You know. So definitely something I'm considering. Because I really do want to do that 1/15th line. I think it would look fantastic. You know, the only other place I've thought I could move, you know, like Game of Thrones and Alita, you know, like if I was to ever move it, not have it main room, would be in this room, of course, which theme-wise would work good because this has a lot of themes. But I was thinking, you know, like more or less where Transformers 4 is. Now, these statues are far more impressive than those DC 1/3. Unfortunately, they don't have the best of resale value. I think Optimus and Grimlock have good value. I think Lockdown's okay. I know Drift and Galvatron are not good resale value, and you lose money on both those. Even though I technically got both on a pretty good winter sale. But I still think I'd lose money because of shipping. But, you know, here it would have to be like Khaleesi and Khaleesi bust, Night King and Snow, but they don't even fit right there. So I'd have to change it out to a 48-inch, which I don't know if I could even fit it if I moved that shelf down. I'd have to measure that. So I don't know if it'd even fit here, like all of it. Because you need two 48 inches, and a 36 is fine for Alita. So, but this is the only other spot I've thought I could move Khaleesi bust to create space over there. You know, but these Transformers, like I said, are far more impressive than the DC 1/3. They're some of the most impressive individual statues out there, just because they're so intricate and incredibly detailed. You know, so there's very few statues that are, you know, when you just look at the holistic piece, are that detailed. You know, some that come to mind is like Predator, Warcraft, Alien. Those type are some of the closer in terms of intricate detail. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. All right, folks, video's not over just yet. I photoshopped these, decided to film and edit the video. Excuse Mr. Costa for messaging me during the video. But here is how the Game of Thrones would work, you know, like so. I think it looks pretty good, you know, following the same suite. This statue will eventually go there, so it's 1/3 bust, 1/3. This will be 1/4 bust, 1/4. I think that looks pretty good. And then on this side, we would do it like this. So that would fill the whole 36-inch. You'd be able to see these better. Then Alita there. So that also looks pretty good. Probably at the angle Alita a little different just because of her, you know, sword depth. And then that is how this would look, you know, how I had that before. And then underneath you'd do Raptor, Dilophosaurus. Probably do my Jurassic Park poster and just some leaves. And then Vampirilla and Red Sonja. Then over here would be the whole, you know, Terminator 1/3 line. Now, technically, I don't have to do this if I don't want to. I could, you know, do Red Sonja and Vampirilla right here and do more Terminator statues here. And Terminator statues here if I wanted to. Like the new Queen Arnold bust. You know, if I wanted to get Darkseid or Endo 1/3 with a bust and Sarah Connor bust, or if you wanted to get Darkseid, Arnold 1/3 and T1000 1/3. There's definitely some options, although that is, going to the duplicate stage. Because the big reason you want to do this, not only is it like, outside of that, all Jurassic Park right here, but then you'd be able to do that, which I really like. Being able to do the full diorama above, all 1/15th, with the two busts directly above. I think this looks fantastic, and I really dig that. So I'm a big fan of this. And I know there's also a Jurassic World logo, and I just put that right there. The logo, I think, comes with him. So I really like this idea. I feel like this is perfection. Perfection. That right there is perfection. This is maybe a tiny bit out of place, but it's either here or, we extend this shelf out and put it in this wall. But I really don't want to extend that shelf out just because it's going to, it clutters up the room. And this is a way to, declutter in essence. And technically it would also generate me, wouldn't really generate me any money. Selling like all the DC 1/3 would just pay for the T-Rex and Tyrannosaurus. And I'm really tempted just to pre-order them immediately because they are very low edition sizes. They're actually technically both waitlisted on Prime when I'd pre-order them elsewhere. But, what do you guys think of this whole idea? People in my Facebook group were commenting, saying yes, no, yes, no. It's kind of like, some like it, some don't. Some people don't like the fact I'm, putting non-DC and Marvel in this room. But at the end of the day, it doesn't truly matter. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.